Tejasvi, in moments from now, we're going to hear from the judges in the Supreme Court on that verdict or the bail plea of Khalid and others. I want to understand from you at this point what the main arguments of the Delhi police has been so far when it comes to the plea for bail by the people I've just mentioned.
Well, absolutely. First, let us talk about the important points that the Supreme Court is mentioning as far as this entire verdict is concerned. Supreme Court mentions that in cases involving security, sovereignty, unity of country, delay cannot be considered as the argument, is what Supreme Court says. Then it also says that speedy trial is also important. Now, if we talk about the arguments that have been put forward by the Delhi police in the previous argument, then the Delhi police has very categorically stated that how these individuals, say it be Sharjeel Imam or Umar Khalid, they were the main conspirator in this entire case. They hatched a conspiracy, and in fact there was a plan for the regime change. This was the word, the term that the Delhi police used, that they wanted a regime change, the economic instability in the country, and there was also a plan of Umar Khalid to leave the national capital. So as after this riots, or in fact this entire conspiracy broke out, they said that it was a pre-planned conspiracy. It was not an organic riot. It was completely planned in a foolproof manner. How to, in fact, they stated that the meetings were carried out, the secret meetings were carried out, and in fact they also played a very important role in conveying the message to the women, especially of a particular area, where in fact also they provided the knives, the chili powder, and all these things, the stones in fact, and how they were involved in multiple events that unfolded during the Delhi riots as well. Also, in fact, now have a look about what the court is stating. Court is in fact noting the special nature of the UAPA, which deals with cases sensitive to national security and sovereignty. So definitely when it comes to UAPA, we have been seeing that how in fact these all cases are dealt as far as the national security and sovereignty is concerned. Now in fact the Supreme Court is in fact talking about how this in fact case should be considered. Also in fact the discussion has been confined to delay and prolonged incarceration. That's what in fact the advocates of the accused have been talking, that it's been more than 5 years and there should be a free and fair trial that should have been begun till date, but there has been a deliberate delay from the side of the Delhi police, and that's why in fact if we have on the other hand we see that the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta in fact in the previous hearing have stated that there was a delay from the side of the accused, in fact their advocates, and these statements were made in fact in the court as well, that there has been a delay. And now in fact we have to see that what happens next as far as this entire verdict is concerned, because it is definitely a very important verdict. 700 people injured, more than around 53 people lost their lives, more than 700 FIRs filed in this case, multiple charge sheet, multiple cases, and not just that, but the public property was also in fact damaged. Remember that Sharjeel Imam's advocate in fact also in the previous hearing mentioned that he has been portrayed as an intellectual terrorist in front of the public, is what he has been stating. Remember that in fact in the previous hearing as well, if we talk about the Delhi police and the SG Tushar Mehta, who in fact went on to say that these days we have been seeing a pattern in which such kind of conspiracy are being hatched. We see that how from doctors to engineers they use in fact the state funds to carry out such kind of conspiracies and attacks. This was made at a point of time when there was a Delhi blast at the Red Fort, keeping in mind that how the doctors were involved in that case, and he also cited about the doctors involved, and then now these engineers being involved. Now in fact the court states about the about on what grounds the bail should have been granted. In fact, it does not exclude judicial scrutiny or mandate denial of bail in default. We examined if prima facie, if the prosecution has proved charges. In fact, I will also read out so as to what is actually happening in the court. It mentions about Article 21 that occupies a central space in the constitutional scheme. Pre-trial incarceration cannot be assumed to have the character of punishment punishment. And that's what the law advocates of the accused have been saying, that they have been arguing, that the process is becoming a punishment for them because these kind of delays, in fact, and not beginning of the trial. So this is a complete process that we are observing, and that is in itself becoming a punishment for them right now. And now the discussion has been confined to delay and prolonged incarceration. UAPA offences are rarely confined to isolated acts, and now the UAPA has a special statute represents a legislative judgment as to the conditions on which bail may be granted in pre-trial stage. So that needs to be seen, because this is a very important case, and if the bail is granted in this particular case, then definitely it will be setting precedence in other cases as well, as far as the UAPA cases are concerned. But also on the other hand, then we also need to keep in mind the sensitivity of this matter, how important this case was, and on what grounds the Delhi High Court rejected the bail of these accused. Because in the previous hearing, during the hearing when their bail was rejected by the Delhi High Court, the Delhi High Court in fact mentioned that it was about the nation's security, and it was a pre-planned conspiracy, it was a hatched conspiracy, and it was not a spontaneous attack, and they were main conspirator. Keeping in mind all these things, they should have the bail should not be granted to them. However, if we talk about what the advocates have been stating, they have been stating that if you are keeping in mind just the speeches that were made by Sharjeel Imam, then also keep in mind that the speeches cannot be just the ground for labeling him as an intellectual terrorist, or for that matter, in fact, keeping in mind that he was involved in all such kind of activities as well, in which the riots broke out. They in fact also stated that both the accused were arrested days before the riots broke out. Remember that Sharjeel Imam was arrested in the month of January, and it was the month of September when Umar Khalid was arrested in the year 2020. Now in fact we have seen that how there were protests in Shaheen Bagh, in Jafrabad, and all the areas where the protesters were protesting against the CAA and the NRC, and it all started with the stone pelting back in the 2019, and then from there, in fact, this entire case, they were sitting on the protest, the roads were blocked, the chakka jam, and they are also in fact accused in the court. It has been mentioned that they have been the founder of the idea of the chakka jam, and they also validated this thing by putting forward the video of Sharjeel Imam in front of the court, where Sharjeel Imam in fact in the video could be heard saying that we have to block the roads, we have to come out of the streets, and cannot sit silent, we have to burn the roads, cut the chicken's neck. So this was in fact plan to change the regime as well. This is what the Delhi police has been stating, and it was an attempt to malign India's image on a global platform. That was a very important point that was made in front of the judges while the hearing was going on. And in fact, it was December 10 when the order was reserved, and today is the verdict, and we are just going through so as to updates. What are the updates as far as the court is concerned? Because the family of the victims believe that they should be punished hard. Now the court is reading the counters and applicability of the section 15 of the UAPA, defining a terrorist act under which, in fact, if we talk about what happens under this, there are serious charges, and they all are booked under UAPA, which has some stringent, which has in fact, which in fact involves something like which goes against nation's sovereignty, nation's integrity, and in fact that is all being mentioned in front of the court as well. Now each accused act is taken as per their act. Remember this, because what in fact in front of the court was mentioned that by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta while the argument was going on, that the actions of the one accused will be taken as the evidence against the other. For example, the speeches made by Sharjeel Imam will be taken as the evidence against the other. So Supreme Court says that bail stage is not meant for a detailed evaluation of the defense. Later on, court laid down key tests, whether the investigation shows a prima facie offense and whether the accused roles has a reasonable nexus to the alleged crime. So now court has also in fact went on to say that whether the investigation show a prima facie offense and whether accused role has a reasonable nexus to the alleged crime or not, or to what extent these accused were involved, what kind of evidence they have, because Delhi police have stated that they have given enough evidence from digital evidence, from their chats, from their involvement in the WhatsApp groups, and from their mobile phone locations, from their conversations, from the kind of meetings that they held, and for the kind of speeches that they held. And in fact now the court will go through to each individual applications, cannot treat all individuals equally for bail. That is what the Supreme Court has stated, that cannot treat all individuals equally for bail because all of them have different cases. Not just that, but in fact, remember that the Supreme Court says that the hierarchy of participation requires the court to access each application individually. That means all the accused, the 7 accused in this particular case, that includes Umar Khalid, Sharjeel Imam. In this case, the applications of the 7 accused will be accessed separately. And Article 21 requires the state to justify prolonged pre-trial custody. That means there is a need to in fact put forward that why there's a prolonged pre-trial custody. But important point over here is that the individuals, that cannot treat all individuals equally for bail. That means that all the applications, we should say, or all the cases will be in fact dealt separately, and the record discloses that all the appellants do not stand on equal footing as regards culpability. Definitely, because all of them have been big
Also,
breaking news
Article
coming here right now from the
21
court that Delhi
requires
Police
the
has
state
argued.
to explain the delays, the delays that we are seeing in order to justify the prolonged pre-trial custody that we've seen. Of course, the court is saying, the Supreme Court is saying, what should we do? What should the court do when there's delay invoked in stringent laws like UAP, and also that the pre-trial detention cannot really be considered a punishment?
Well, absolutely. Here's the big development, big breaking news that Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam stand on a different footing from other accused. That means the kind of activities that they were involved in, they are not in parallel activities in which the other 5 accused they were involved. Their role was very much different so as to the role of the accused of the other accused who have been framed under the charge of UAPA in this case. Court is reading out the submission of Delhi Police as well as of now. So the Delhi Police has argued that Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam stand on a different footing than others. So that means that again we'll have to see that what the order has, because it is very important point that's been made by Supreme Court, because that is what we were discussing that today morning itself, that will these all 7 accused be treated in a similar manner? If the bail is granted, will the bail be granted to them all together in one go, or in fact the cases will be dealt in a different pattern because they all are accused, they all were involved in a different kind of cases. Yes, they were the main conspirator, they hatched the conspiracy, they were someone who were behind this entire the riots that broke out in the national capital, particularly in the northeast area, is what the Delhi Police has stated. But important to note over here is what the Supreme Court stated, that both stand on a different footing than others. That means that now the accused, the 5 accused and these 2 individuals will be dealt in a separate manner if as far as the bail is concerned. Now remains to be seen that what happens next, because remember that there were quite significant arguments that were made from the side of the advocate of the accused as well, and from the side of the Delhi Police lawyer as well. In fact, the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta in fact stated how the entire incident unfolded, the manner in which how they were involved, their WhatsApp groups, and also in fact stated there was also a mention about Umar Khalid's speech that was made in the very university, that is the Jawaharlal University, and when the controversy broke out, he also drew a parallel connection so as to how he wanted the India so as to be divided, to be cut into pieces. And now the statements just validating so as to the statements that he made back in the year 2016. So all these parallels were also drawn by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta at that particular point of time as well. And in fact, keeping in mind what the Delhi Police has stated, that they have in fact collected quite substantial evidence as far as this entire case is concerned, from their conversation, from their WhatsApp chats as well, so as to how they were active in the group. As far as the
Anushka cannot treat all individuals equally for bail. That is what the Supreme Court is saying. And they're talking about that any act that endangers the unity, the integrity, or the economic security of the country. They're basically talking about, the special provisions that are invoked, given that this is under UAPA.
That's right, Vedika. We are seeing that the Supreme Court has made the observation that all the accused are right now standing on a different footing, and the Supreme Court needs to assess the arguments of different individuals, properly and in a very detailed manner. Now we are seeing that Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam stands on a qualitatively different footing as compared to the other accused, is what the Supreme Court agrees on. This was an argument that was made by the Delhi police, and we have seen that the Delhi police have more than once pointed out that jail and not bail is the norm when cases like this happen and where UAPA is invoked. Now the Delhi police have in fact also said that they have substantial evidence about Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid, that they were trying to mobilize women in a specific area in Delhi and were trying to in fact convince them to gather all those weapons and acid bottles and do a chakka jam. They were in fact saying that this whole modus operandi will be later on if this protest becomes successful, and they are in fact once again, if they in fact succeed in the regime change, they will be using
no
this
Supreme Court relief, no bail for Omar Khalid and for Sharjeel Imam in the Delhi rioting case. That's breaking news coming in at this particular point in time. The Supreme Court taking up that case, the bail plea. Do remember that it is Omar Khalid that has knocked the doors. The Delhi High Court that had denied the bail back in 2023, and the Supreme Court taking up that case again. But no bail for Omar Khalid and no bail for Sharjeel Imam in the Delhi riots case that took place in 2020. Do remember that the family has been insisting that there has been detention without a trial for the last 5 years, and there's been a lot of support pouring in, especially of lawmakers from the United States. There's also, Zohran Mamdani there writing a letter to, in fact, Omar Khalid, and with all that support that had been garnered in the run-up to the bail plea that came up in the Supreme Court today, and the Supreme Court there delivering that verdict, no relief has been granted to Omar Khalid and to Sharjeel Imam. Tejri with us. Tejri, take us to what the Supreme Court has said. On what grounds have they denied the bail plea?
Well, the Delhi High Court order has been upheld, and the Supreme Court has denied the bail to Sharjeel Imam and Umar Khalid. The bail plea has been dismissed. Remember that it's been more than 5 years that Sharjeel Imam, Umar Khalid have been in jail, and now Supreme Court in fact has stated that these two cannot be given the benefit of delay in the trial, keeping in mind that they have been in jail, they have been incarcerated for more than 5 years, and in fact there have been arguments of the delay in the trial. But these two individuals, Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam, cannot be given, in fact, they cannot be given the benefit of delay in the trial. In fact, Supreme Court has stated that the court is satisfied that the prosecution material disclosed prima facie allegation against appellants Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam. In fact, have also stated that this stage of proceedings do not justify their enlargement on bail. So Supreme Court has rejected the bail plea of Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam. That's the big breaking news. That's the big development that we are learning right now, because in fact earlier Supreme Court stated that Umar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam stand on a different footing from another. Both stand on a qualitatively different footing than the other accused. The kind of evidence that was put forward, the kind of arguments that were made, and the manner in which they were involved in all these riots that unfolded in their 2020 in the northeast area of the national capital. And keeping all these things in mind, they cannot.
See, we have the remaining 5 have been granted bail. It's just these two. It is Omar Khalid and Sharjeel Imam who haven't been granted bail, but the other 5 in the case, in the same Delhi rioting case, have been granted bail. Now, these two cannot be given bail, and the benefit of the delay as far as the trial is concerned, the evidence exists against both of them in the first instance for criminal conspiracy under UAPA. That is the ground on which the Supreme Court has denied bail for Omar Khalid, who's been in detention for over 5 years in the Delhi riots case that took place in 2020. Anushka with us as well. Anushka, take us through the details. The other 5 who have been granted bail, take us through the details.
That's right, Vedika, a defining moment today where the Supreme Court has denied bail to Sharjeel Imam and also Umar Khalid. But yes, we are seeing that other 5 people have been given bail. Now, the Supreme Court has said that there are 12 stringent conditions on the basis of which the other 5 people have been granted the bail. We are being joined by the victim's family here today. Hari Singh Solanki is the father of Rahul Solanki, whose son was brutally killed in the violent riots that took place at this very area where we are in fact sitting right now near the Khajuri Khas area. We'll just go straight to him. Sir, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आ चुका है और इस बारे में बोला गया है कि 5 जो अक्यूज थे उनको बेल दी गई है, जबकि उमर खालिद और शर्जील इमाम को बेल देने से मना कर दिया गया है। कैसे देखते हैं आप इसको?
हम इस तरह से देखेंगे इसको कि शर्जील इमाम को और उसको बेल नहीं दी गई है, ये तो खुशी की बात है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहेंगे। लेकिन 5 लोगों को जो बेल दी गई है ये भी दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है, बेल देना नहीं चाहिए। क्यों? पीड़ित सनातनी जो लोग हैं, पीड़ितों को खतरा है, कभी भी उन पर अटैक किया जा सकता है। पहले कई बार भी मेरे को समय समय पे घेरा गया, करकटुमा कोर्ट के द्वारा सुरक्षा दी गई, सुरक्षा नहीं आज तक मिल सकी। मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट से प्रार्थना करना चाहूँगा जितने भी पीड़ित परिवार हैं 15 सनातनी, उनको सुरक्षा मुहैया कराई जाए और आगे के लिए ये ऐसा न करें, इनको सजा भी सुनाने का काम किया जाए।
That was the victim's father with me, who has said that if other 5 accused have been granted bail, then there should be security arrangements that should be made for the victim's family. The Supreme Court has once again mentioned that all these accused will not be meeting any evidence in this matter. There are more than 900 witnesses with whom the Delhi police were in fact questioning regarding this whole protest, the violent, violence that in fact took place in Delhi and the riots that in fact broke out in 2020. We have seen 53 people who lost their lives, more than 700 people who were injured in this case, and now we are seeing that this is a very defining moment where the Supreme Court has in fact granted bail to Gulfisha Fatima, Miran Haider, Shifa ur Rahman and also Mohammad Salim Khan and Shadab Ahmed with 12 stringent conditions.